the reason that rushing is so bad is because it's resistance to the present. And as we go from A to B, you can have resistance to the target, to the starting point, to the work. Resistance prevents movement. Welcome to the Do the Impossible podcast. I'm Jason Drees with Jason Drees Coaching. Don't forget to join me every Monday at 10 a.m. Central for my Monday Mindset Reset call. You can sign up at mondaymindsetreset.com. Today, I've got a coaching session for you. Here's a great session I had with a client named Sarah. And in this session, I help Sarah move into alignment with the target she's facing and getting out of being stuck where she's been recently. I hope you enjoy this. What would you like coaching on today, Sarah? How can I help?
Well, I think it's probably different than what I put in my application.
That's fine.
But I think coaching on just really, I've been really struggling with self-trust and self-belief. And so I think that's where I'd like to focus today. Okay.
Self-trust and self-belief. Yeah. I've never been there. Tell me more.
I go through these cycles of feeling really clear and, good about the things that I'm doing, the person that I'm being, how I'm showing up. And then I'll just get this, I'll kind of sink back into this wave of why am I doing all of this? Even though I do have a why. Is this the right thing? Which opportunity do I pursue? Can I trust the decisions I make? And is this really what I want? I just go into this real deep questioning. Mm-hmm. It seems to be a bit cyclical. And little humans are coming in to say hi. Okay. It seems to be quite cyclical, where I'll have this for a period of, 3 to 4 days. Mm-hmm. And then I'm able to, frame shift out of it, or it just kind of goes away. And I'm back into this kind of good mode. And I would say that it's been that way since the in-person workshop in October.
Okay.
I've been doing I've got your book here, and I've been doing the 4 things writing out every single morning.
Okay.
And that's been good. But I think sometimes I'm really feeling it's not I'm doing it, but I'm not believing it.
Doing what? Not believing it?
Going through these frame shifts, writing them down, kind of visualizing. It's most of the time I think it's working, but then there's these times where I just feel like I'm going through the motions and I can't really, I kind of feel it, and I think I'm doing it, but.
How much time are you giving yourself to do those?
Between 5 to 10 minutes every morning, at least.
Okay. So what are you shifting? What is your goal to shift to? What frames are you shifting to?
Well, I'm doing the 4, the main ones. I've got this. I don't worry about money anymore. I've got more than I need. I think that's the one I struggle with probably the most.
Okay.
The I've got this is pretty easy. I've got all the time, and then I love what I do. Those are also pretty easy. And the 4th one used to be very difficult for me, but now it's not so bad. It's actually that's been a nice shift and a permanent kind of frame shift. And then I have a bunch of others. I've written a lot of those down, and so it's frame shifting into I operate my life has amazing things that happen to it every single day. And so I'm trying to stick to those more general frame shifts rather than something super specific. So
is there a bigger target you're working on right now? So it sounds like you're not sure which opportunity, what's the target above that?
Well, right now I'm really focused on growing my business and, bringing in new clients. And so being seen at events, being seen as an industry leader, being able to retain our corporate clients and some more in my program or one-to-one. And so that's, the general growth of the business. And I want my kind of target with that is this coming up year to make $150,000.
How often is that financial target in your head?
Specifically like that, probably not very often, probably because I hide from it.
Okay. There are an infinite number of frames that you're operating from.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in a strategy frame and there's uncertainty there, the success will still occur if the frame above it is in certainty, if the frame above it is in alignment.
Okay.
Because what I'm hearing you say is like, I've got a financial target, I've got a business target. I also know from knowing you personally, you've had some interesting experiences in life in the past 4 months.
Yes.
Right. Right. When you're around people passing and transitioning, it gives you new perspectives too. Right.
Yeah.
So I can see a lot of that possibly coming, and I may be wrong, but I'm like, oh, well, which one do I want to do? And am I living my life as best I can? And, because you had an experience that, gave you some contrast.
Yeah.
So my hallucination is that there's some doubt in your operating frame above that. So you think about it like this: there's the frame of alignment with the target,
Mm-hmm.
where you're like, am I aligned with the target? There's the frame of like executing the target, right? There's all different parts of frames, and that's what we usually focus on. Our attention is usually drawn most of the time to the frame of the result we're after. That's where it usually goes. What's actually happening right now is your frame of your process is out of alignment.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
The frame of my process.
The frame of you in your process.
Okay.
Right? Because there's the frame of the target. There's a frame of alignment with yourself, right? There's a frame with money frame. There's all those. But what I'm specifically talking about is the frame about picking the right target. The frame about knowing if you're on the right path. That's a frame as well. So if you have multiple targets and you're not sure and you're not moving, you need to go to the frame above that and create certainty.
Okay.
And the easiest way to do that is with a decision. Something such as, I am going to find the right target because I'm not going to stop until I do. And I'm also aware very quickly of when I'm not aiming at the right target. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. So the pattern you've been in is you've been stuck in the strategy right here, trying to analyze this. Yeah. Right now, your present mindset in that frame that's a little bit out of alignment is giving you these opportunities, and you're not sure which one, and there's doubt. So you're frame shifting here, and you need to be frame shifting here.
Okay. Is that because I'm like still like with your diagram, I'm stuck in that mindset piece and not going into the actual frame?
Well, you're just shifting the wrong frame. The reason why? Oh, because you haven't learned how to identify the right one yet. And that's why we're having this conversation today.
Yeah.
And then I'm having this same conversation with I just had this 5 minutes ago, because that's what's really happening right now is everybody's focusing on how their life is right now. It's about the habits, the rituals, because your life is right now. It's not in the future.
Right.
So can you get a sense of the version of you that knows that you are on the right path and you will end up on the right path, even though sometimes you have small detours along the way?
Yes.
And sometimes there's dead ends and you have to back up.
Yes.
Can you get a sense of the version of you that's not in a rush? Because the joy of picking the flowers is so fun and fulfilling.
Yes.
Because that's where our creation is. It's very challenging for us entrepreneurs, especially building businesses, to get out of rushing to the future.
Yeah. I mean, that's been like my core standard operating procedure, I think, since I was a child, the rushing. I graduated high school in 3 years, did college in 3 years. I kind of fast tracked everything. And I used to be really restless. I couldn't be bored. So that's changed a lot in the last year. But I would definitely say the rushing is still like, I have to catch myself, or I catch myself a lot, and then just do, take a deep breath and just like let it out, because I don't know what I'm rushing for, because usually once I get whatever I'm after, it's that kind of adrenaline dump, and then, oh, there's more.
Yeah. I understand. I've been there for I worked for Tony Robbins. It took me years to unwind from being part of that company. Right. So the reason that rushing is so bad is because it's resistance to the present. And as we go from A to B, you can have resistance to the target, to the starting point, to the work. Resistance prevents movement.
Mm.
And and the other thing is that you and I and everyone else have spent the majority of our life in the reality where action creates it.
Yes.
And we now have access to a reality where frame creates reality or frequency creates reality.
Yeah, it's like sometimes I feel that so clearly. And it's like, yeah, I feel this working and I see where my resistance is and it makes sense. And then there's other times where I'm just like, really? um, what is going on? And then I'll think about this and remind myself, like, just 5 minutes ago, I was feeling this. What has happened that's now shifted it back? And then I get frustrated.
Yes, because your brain can perceive that as regression, but it's not regression. It's deeper integration. Because if you think about it, the reason we're in these bodies at this time, because we came from this place that was instant manifestation and we got bored. So we came into these bodies to literally go through creation in slow motion.
Mm.
We got instant manifestation, which we're used to. And we come down here and it's like step by step. And like, if you think about these conversations we're having and the people you run into, and like my gift is I just happen to remember this part of growth before everyone else, right? So I'm sharing that and we're having these conversations and I feel like we've had these conversations before, like so many times, but we're on this journey of discovery. And you get to these places of alignment to show you what's possible. And then you immediately get out of alignment the next time because that's the next evolution of you because you're constantly going up. So you were aligned here. When you go up here, you're out of alignment and you got to realign again over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So, and it's accelerating. So the name of the game is how fast can you get into alignment, or really how fast can you stop reacting to the present? And literally almost live this delusional reality where you're in constant creation and it's unfolding because you are one client, one phone call away from a client that pays you 12 grand a month.
Right.
One client. And that's your financial, like right there. So we need to be in the frame daily of, oh, that call is happening any second now, as opposed to it's not happening, it's not happening, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So it's like, so if you're feeling financial scarcity or financial pressure, your brain is telling you that finding money will make the feeling of financial scarcity go away, right? That's what your brain is telling you, but that's backwards. Making the financial scarcity feeling go away or aligning with it going away will bring the money, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And the world is a little bonkers right now. And there's a compression and then there's the market and all that. So there's a compression right now. And you may have to just like sit and breathe with it. So when you're doing your morning 5 or 10 minutes, you need to be fully present with where you are right now. And if there's resistance in this present moment for not having this or not being there or money or whatever, you have to make peace with this moment. Like the reason you're not hitting those big targets yet is because life needs a different version of you to do that. And the different version of you is one that's present and aligned and open and in creation. And you're going and you're processing through all of the things in the past that made you shut down and go into reaction. And you're not alone. We're all doing this.
Yeah, the last few days, like all of this is landing. I heard something in your podcast the other day that really resonated too. And it's interesting to me how, like you mentioned, that you had the same conversation with somebody else just 5 minutes ago, and it's like that frequency that we're kind of drawing in, and like there's always this similarity. I see it even with my own clients; they're usually going through the same thing at the same time. At one point last year, because I was stuck in the U.S. and then decided to stay here, I had about 6 clients choose to leave Hong Kong and move across the world. So it was just, it's very interesting. And the conversations I've been having since I've been here with everyone, it's bringing up all these old it's almost been like a mirror to see like, oh yeah, that was me 5 years ago. And wow, okay, so I can see my own growth. And it's just been really kind of interesting the last 24 hours. And then it's like I get in The pendulum swing is not as bad today for that like kind of wavering between, but there was the last like 3-4 days, like I was crying, I was, everything. And so I was just letting it come out, like letting myself feel it. And that made me able to like process it more quickly. But I think I'm just frustrated that like that cycle keeps continuing. But maybe I'm not, you mentioned, my friend passing, and I think that there's probably still grief there that's coming out in ways that I'm not expecting.
There's probably grief. There's also, am I living my life fully? Like, yeah, so I've been noticing lately that repeat after me's and frame shifting isn't working as much because I've kind of been in a space where I've been trying to solve the misaligned mindset because I had a frame that wasn't shifting and I had to go in and solve it and then it shifted. But I'm starting to realize right now that my next evolution is not going to happen until I hold myself in alignment with the new version consistently. It's literally like where I'm like holding this frame. And I used to frame shift outside my body. It was always over here. So now I'm holding the frame inside. I'm doing this frame and this frame and this frame. And if I don't know what to do, I simply do the frame that's a higher frequency than my present one. But the other piece is that you'll want to develop a practice of shifting out of this version and instead of trying to solve this version, because you can get stuck in one that can't be solved.
Shift out of this version instead of solving.
Think like multiverse.
Yes. I remember that analogy. That was a good one.
Like the Spider-Man movie, right? There's all these different versions, right? So it's like, we literally have access to that level of creation, but we just have we're still reacting to how the old reality worked.
Right.
So it's like, and you want to frame shift or be in the frame of your natural gifts and stuff coming out. Because when you started this call, you were in a frame of not knowing what to do and a little stuck and right. So it's like what you want to do is if you're ever stuck like that and you're not talking to me, you want to move to a frame that knows what to do. It's literally that simple. And it could simply be, can I sense the frame that is not stuck? And you need to resist the hesitation to try to get the answer out of that frame. Because usually what happens is we get that frame and we want the answers out of it right away, but it doesn't work that way. It's like get the frame. Because right now the process I'm going through is a process of really shifting my focus from like doing a lot of stuff to hide. I didn't realize how much I was hiding, to putting myself in public facing in every fashion I can. Products, marketing, programs, and all that. So there's a big shift. And how to do that, I've been frame shifting for quite a while of I know what to do because I didn't know what to do. And then literally every day a piece has come unfolding. So the pieces are filling in slow motion about how I'm crafting the evolution of Jason Drees coaching and how the evolution of Mindset Academy. And that's going to become the foundation for everything. There's multiple levels. The coaching's a part of it now. So there's this big evolution, but and then the Do the Impossible framework here is going to expand. There's going to be multiple layers within that. The content's going to be structured through Mindset Academy instead of me just free flowing every week because that was killing me. So all of a sudden, I wanted more freedom, more control, more finances, more resources, and I'm slowly getting all of the pieces to put it together. Because I'm in the frame that I'm always in is that I can grow through this. I can figure it out. And there's a lesson here and I'll get it. So that's the frame that I'm in. So let's do a quick repeat after me. So I take full ownership of my life and everything in it.
I take full ownership of my life and everything in it.
I got this.
I got this.
I really got this.
I really got this.
I've got this.
I've got this.
It's okay for me to slow down.
It's okay for me to slow down.
There's nothing I need to run from.
There's nothing I need to run from.
Because the only thing I've been running from are feelings.
The only thing I've been running from are feelings.
And I'm not afraid of feelings.
I'm not afraid of feelings.
I may not like all of them.
I may not like all of them.
But I've outlived every feeling I've ever had.
But I've outlived every feeling I've ever had.
So I allow myself to feel my life. To feel my life. To feel my life.
To feel my life. To feel my life.
Because I want to live my life.
Because I want to live my life.
With the richness that it deserves.
the richness that it deserves.
To experience the magic.
To experience the magic.
And the sadness.
And the sadness.
And the loss.
The loss.
And the love.
And the love.
And the wonder.
And the wonder.
And the curiosity.
And the curiosity.
And the connection.
And the connection.
Because that's what life is.
Because that's what life is.
It's all of those things.
It's all of those things.
And I think it's time.
And I think it's time.
To be savage.
To be savage.
And live my life.
And live my life.
Enjoying the ups and the downs.
Enjoying the ups and the downs.
Because if I can enjoy all of it.
If I can enjoy all of it.
I'm free.
I'm free.
And I've won.
And I've won.
That is a fact.
And that is a fact.
I'm not afraid of my power anymore.
I'm not afraid of my power anymore.
And I'm done hiding.
I'm done hiding.
Because while I may have thought I was hiding in the past.
Because while I may have thought I was hiding in the past.
I was basically standing in front of everybody.
I was basically standing in front of everybody.
Covering my face.
Covering my face.
I'm already out there.
I'm already out there.
I'm ready to be seen.
I'm ready to be seen.
It's okay to be seen.
It's okay to be seen.
I am seen.
I am seen.
By the world.
By the world.
It's what I'm here for.
It's what I'm here for.
Can you find the beauty in this heaviness that's clearing?
Yes.
So maybe it's time to start dancing with life instead of trying to conquer it.
Funnily enough, I want to take dance lessons again. So maybe that's what I need to do.
Yeah. When are we going to be done with this backlog of processing? I don't know. It's like we got a year's worth of laundry that's piled up that way. It's like, come on, I've been doing laundry for days.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Is that helpful?
Very helpful, yeah.
And if those repeat after me's aren't working, or you don't think they're working, just get a sense of the version of you that knows there's a reason why.
Okay.
And the version of you that can look at that type of situation and go, oh, that's what it feels like today. And the version of you that always holds that certainty or always gets back to that certainty that you're on the right track, you know what to do, and you've got this. And if you need to go ball after this to process, do that.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all good?
Good.
Okay. Have you ever listened to Matt Kahn?
Mm-mm.
He's the one speaker I've been following for like the past 10 years.
Okay.
Kahn. Matt Kahn.
Okay.
He's the highest frequency person I've ever experienced.
Okay.
Who's alive right now. You can find he's got multiple books. He's got a shit ton of videos on YouTube. Mm-hmm. He does this thing called the Angel Academy, which is like this it's like this 10 or 12-week series, which is freaking amazing. He also just released this program which he called Heal to Completion.
Okay.
He did he's closed enrollment right now, but there's a waiting list which he said is going to open in January.
Okay.
There's a sliding scale cost of it. I think it was like $100 or something, which is super cheap. But it's basically a 7-module series about integrating and healing you. And Matt I've seen him live a couple times. You feel his presence in the room. He's like that high a frequency. Like you literally you're like, something's different about him, right? Yeah. So I would say go to YouTube, type in Matt Kahn, and look at the topic that's interesting to you. And he just sits in a chairs and talks. But when he talks, simultaneously he's channeling this energy. So he holds these frequencies, and then at the end, like I actually learned repeat after me's from him. So he does these repeat after me's that integrates like it, and his stuff is like immediately integrated, boom, permanent. Okay. And his Heal to Completion basically coordinated with the chakras. And the level 1 was like safety. And when he started going through that, I bawled for like 25 minutes. I haven't cried like that in like years. And I don't even know what it was. It was just a backlog. But that one is basically activating the 7 levels of consciousness. So I would click his website and join that waiting list. And I think January he was going to release that, sign up for it because it was super powerful. In the meantime, you can listen. He's got tons of YouTube videos. He's got a few books, but his stuff is like you probably noticed that how like my relationship with myself is like healed in a lot of ways that most people isn't, like self-judgment and things like that. Which I help people do now, but I help people do that by conversation and coaching, right? All of the work I've done is basically being around him, where his work just basically shifts you.
Okay.
So I'm duplicating that in my own way, but all of this like self-internal alignment came from all the work I've done with him over the past 10 years.
Okay.
So his content is that powerful. And so while I can continue to help align you along the way, my intuition's telling me that if you get some of his stuff, it'll clear some of this, like the self relationship, the guidance, that some of that backlog, the pain, that there's just some clearing there. And he's amazing at processing that stuff.
Okay. Amazing.
So so if you check him out, if you align with that, like do all that. He also does a total integration series, which is like, I think $30 a month, and there's a call every Tuesday. Okay. But you can just follow him on Facebook. But his content is like, I think will help you in ways that you can't expect. That's my gut side.
Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
I hope you found this coaching session useful. Go to freeintrosession.com to book your own introductory coaching session. And join me next week as we continue this conversation into the evolution of greatness and the code of how greatness works. I'm Jason Drees with the Do the Impossible podcast. Take care. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.